One and hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying this day. Without any further ado, out of respect for his time, my longtime friend, Oakland Panthers president Scott McKibben, is on to talk about how the Indoor Football League and Oakland's only football team is weathering the storm. Scott, thanks for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Zenny, and appreciate your asking me.
Got it, definitely. Where are we in this crazy time? First, I want to thank you and Dave and the Oakland Panthers for giving Zenny 62 Media an open door to be a media support and vlog about what you're doing. It's quite an honor.
It's no problem. We're glad to partner with you. Thank you.
Got it. Where are we with this? Because we were just about a hair away from the inaugural game. Looks like you guys had a sort of a no audience set up and everything was set to go. And then, you all made the change like a number of people have done,
Yeah, we worked, Zenny, long, hard 6 months preparing for our first game, which was to be the 14th of March. And we were going to have a fan fest downtown at Frank Agala Plaza at City Hall. It was going to be a great affair. We had people coming in. We had a wonderful setup ready to go. We were bringing the players down. We were going to play the game on Saturday. And that was the week in which a lot of dominoes fell quickly. It started with the county enforcing or putting in a ban that we couldn't have anything over 1,000 people. So we, like a number of other franchises, said, okay, this one game, we've already got it planned. We're only 3 or 4 days away. We will go ahead and play it in front of no fans. And then, which is what the NC2A was going to do with March Madness. That's what the NBA was going to do. That's what NASCAR was going to do. NASCAR was going to do 3 races and in fact, not have fans. And then, when the player from Utah was diagnosed of having it, the NBA quickly suspended their season. And then quickly thereafter, the NC2A killed and canceled March Madness. And then NASCAR canceled. And we got down to a point where here we were sitting on a Friday, and we basically had no other choice at that point in time to call the game off. So, while we were disappointed, we felt it was our obligation to do the right thing, which is to, protect the best interests and health and safety of everybody. And so where we are right now is the league has suspended play, as have all sports leagues for that matter. We're not sure when we're going to start up again. We're like everybody else. It's changing every 24 hours. We're playing it by ear. Every one of our teams, though, is ready to go. We're ready to fire the thing back up, call the players back in, when that's going to be at this point in time.
Let's talk some more happier times. How did the Oakland Panthers start and get to the point where you're the only football team in Oakland?
Well, being the only football team in Oakland actually started, of course, when the Raiders decided that they were going to leave town and move to Las Vegas. And then, of course, as you know, the Warriors left to go over to the Chase Center. And so somewhere around January or February, when I was still the executive director at the Coliseum Authority, one of the things I was working hard on was trying to find a tenant or somebody to fill in the spot when the Warriors were gone at the arena. And got introduced to Jerry Kurz, who was the former commissioner of the Arena Football League, who in fact said, we're looking at bringing a team to Oakland. We think it'd be a great match. I said, come on up and visit with me. And he brought with him a prospective owner, a gentleman named Roy Choi. And Roy came up and we spent some time together. And they're not a long season like the Warriors or like the Raiders And so this was an event that, after I kind of felt comfortable that this might be a good tenant, but it wouldn't be a bigger, longer-term tenant, this was something that we would end up taking through AEG, the operator of the building, for us. So at that point in time, once I felt comfortable that this was somebody that was going to bring us recurring revenues, it would be a good tenant, it would be good for the community, it would generate some economic development, I turned it over to Chris Wright and the people at AEG to work on putting a contract together with Roy to come and bring his team here. Before doing that, one of the things we did was I said, Roy, it'd be nice to see a game in action and see it in an arena so we get some sort of an idea of just really how this all works at an operating level. We went down to Arizona to watch the Arizona Rattlers play, and at that game we bumped into Marshawn Lynch. And we got to chatting with Marshawn, and Marshawn immediately expressed an interest in us and saying, if you guys are going to bring a football team to Oakland, I'd be interested in being part of it. And we thought, geez, that's terrific. Marshawn Lynch is all about Oakland. He's all about football. He's all about youth. He's all about serving the community, particularly the underserved. And we thought that this would be a great match and a great partnership for us. So in the following discussions, Roy brought Marshawn in as a part owner and founder of the team. And they're the two main principals.
What's he like as an owner? I mean, because when one hears bring him in, they think, oh, he's going to be a player. But he's an owner, which is really a fantastic step for those of us who want to see more, frankly speaking, African-American ownership, and also young African-American ownership. What's he like as an individual person, as an owner to work with or for?
He's a terrific guy to work with. And you mentioned all of the things that really count. He's a really solid citizen. He's got a great football background. He's got a great business mind. He cares a lot about the community and about people. And he brings an element that is very important in today's sports ownership world. And that is, we had the opportunity, and particularly in Oakland, to bring an African American aboard. He's involved enough where we get the benefits of everything that he has to say and bring, but he doesn't meddle. Marshawn nor Roy are owners that are looking over our shoulder. When they asked me if I was interested in doing this, and with the Coliseum Authority role ending in just a few months, this was a good match and a good opportunity and good timing for me. But, one of the things I wanted to make sure that the three of us understood was that, if you pick a team president, it's okay to be involved, but, if you're going to give us the keys to the car, let us drive it. And they have been great at that. They've allowed us to build this franchise and build the infrastructure. I think we've done it well. We got a great front office management team. We've got a good coaching staff with 25 per player.
And you have,
we feel like we have built all the right fundamentals are in place.
You have a great price point for tickets as well. How did you determine that? Because I looked at all around the arena, and they're more than competitive. So I was really looking forward to seeing how all this worked in actual practice, and still am.
Well, part of the real attraction, and I might add the long-term success to the business model, is that you want this to be, Zenny, family affordable entertainment. You want this to be high-level football. Don't get me wrong. You got to put a good product on the field. But equally as important is you want to provide a great family experience and a great fan experience. We want people to leave our arena after playing on a Saturday night or a Sunday night and say, we really had a heck of a good time. We want to come back and do this again. This was fun. And you have to do that at a price point where you don't become corporatized. Mm-hmm. No offense to the NFL or to the NBA, but gosh, with those ticket prices, a family of four being able to just go to a ball game, you might be able to get it done once or twice a year, but it's pretty expensive. And we wanted our median price point of our ticket to be at right around $25, $25 to $30. You could get a great seat. You can sit in the first 5 rows for $75. We put together a area that we are calling the Panther Pit. It's down in the end zone, behind the end zone on the north side of the building. It's got a special accommodation for about 100 to 150 people, and it's just kind of a stand-up. They sit or stand at high tops. There's a bar there. You know, the young millennials, they're not all that interested. Many of them just coming to a game and going to, you know, row 16, seat 2 and 3 and just sitting there. They like to be able to chat with their friends. They want to be able to go over and see somebody else that they've met, watch a little bit of the game, and they want to do it at ground level. So we put the Panther Pit in place.
Hey,
so,
Scott,
we're working really hard at that.
If I may, Scott, some of those who are 57 years old are the same way. Just FYI.
Well, yeah, I intend to spend good time down in the Panther Pit with sponsors and guests also. So, yeah, but it's another one of those that we think is the differentiating point between what you can do with our team and our model that you can't get at a bigger franchise. Access. We have autograph signings, Zenny, at the end of every game. So when the game is over, the players go in, they've got 15 minutes with their coach to summarize the game, you know, a little rah-rah, give everybody a game ball, who's going to get one. And then we ask 6 players to come out. We bring them out on tables, and they sit there, and for a half an hour, they sign autographs for the young kids.
Wow.
Well, not just the young kids, but for fans, anybody who wants one. They can bring a hat, they can bring a jersey, they can bring a game program, they can bring a napkin, they can bring their high school report card, they can bring anything they want, and they can get it autographed. Again, that kind of access is something that the fans can get in our game and in our league that you can't get with every franchise.
And I like the intimate environment you promised. Also, you have the Oakland Panthers dancers. I watched them dancing on or training for their dancing on their Instagram channel. And I'm very impressed with the quality of entertainment that you assembled to bring to a game experience.
Oh, no question. We have worked hard on dancers. We've got music. We've got pyrotechnics in the building. I mean, we intend to make this a real experience for people. We're very proud of our dance team. We've got a great dance coach, Simone. She's terrific at what she does. We had tryouts. We had a number of people that tried out.
Impressive.
We've got great uniforms for them to be able to wear while they perform. And, you know, we're also going to have entertainment throughout the game. We're going to have a DJ that plays before we're going to have there's a tailgate that goes on out. Mm-hmm. We're not playing outside. You're still going to be able to go to the Coliseum and go to an area and tailgate for an hour and a half before the game.
Nice.
And again, this is all about, let's make this a fun, safe experience for people.
Hey, John Marks here. John's one of our regulars. He has a question. He wants to know if you found a radio station to broadcast your games.
Yes, we did. KMBR's sister station, 1050 The Ticket.
Oh, congratulations! That's a huge broadcast.
And our television contract is through CBS and KPIX with their sister station, KBCW. So we've got a local TV deal, a local radio deal, and we also do a league-wide YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So you can stream the game and you can watch it on our YouTube.
Man, this is exciting, Scott. So what, I know you said that you don't know when we're going to be able to get back to normal, but what are your thoughts on what we're going through? Because I didn't really get a chance to ask you that. And how should we think of, how are you thinking about this? How are you dealing with it? How is it affecting your life and sports in general?
Well, first and foremost is the well-being of every citizen. Every fan, every player. You know, when this first came down, Zenny, we weren't sure how long this was going to be. So we told we house and feed our players. That's another different angle from some sports teams. Our 25 players that make the final roster, we house them and we feed them the entire season while they're here. So when the county put in the first stay at home and shelter, we told our players, look, we don't know how long this is going to go. Let's stick for a while. We'll continue to feed you and just stay safe. Well, then when they went to, a heightened level where they closed everything but the non-essentials, they closed everything but the essentials. These guys couldn't even get into a gymnasium to work out. There were no restaurants that they could go eat. And at that point, it looked like this was going to go longer. So what we said to the players last week is, we're going to send you home for the time being. We don't want you to be caught sitting here in California, and maybe there ends up being a very, very heightened domestic travel ban, and you might not be able to get home. So we bought every one of our players an airline ticket home. We flew every one of them home. We're still holding the housing arrangements for them. Many of the guys actually left some of their stuff here thinking that, you know what, I'm going to be back in 4 to 6 weeks. So if we get called back sometime in May and have a couple of weeks to get ready and do a training camp again and get ready to play a game, we'll be ready to fire back up.
I guess that's a good news then, because your overhead is lower than, say, the XFL or the NFL, at least in theory. You can get back up faster, right?
Yeah, one of the advantages is when a downtime like this comes in our model, we don't own or have to take care of all the operating overhead expenses of an arena, right? We're a game event tenant with the arena. So we only pay for the arena and for the services when we're actually playing a game. We don't have any player salaries. We don't have any housing or food costs. So during these difficult and challenging times, about the only overhead that I have to deal with from the business perspective here is the front office staff and, some rent, utilities, and things here at our offices. So this model in a tough time like this is probably about best case scenario. Mm-hmm. We prefer to be playing. We're at a point where we'd sure like to have all that ticket revenue and we'd like to have that sponsorship revenue. But, given the way the circumstances are right now, we feel that the best thing we can do is make sure that we, like others, are taking all of the precautionary measures to prevent the spreading of this horrific disease so that we can get it nipped in the bud and we can get back to, living our lives.
I guess because of what we're talking about, there isn't the need to reconfigure the league, unlike what the NBA is talking about with this special sitting of teams in different cities, right?
No, if and when we go back to doing our games, we looked at scenarios. We're supposed to play a 14-game season, Zenny, 7 at home, 7 away. And we've already looked at the arena. We've got dates. Our season was to end the first week in July. We've now looked at dates that would carry us all the way through August. And we've said, okay, if we had to give up our 2 bye weeks plus play in a full 14-game season. But again, none of us really knows when when are we going to get green lighted to be able to move forward. So right now, our hope and prayer is that we can play a regular 14-game season and play in front of fans. I will say this. We are not a league that will not play games with empty stadiums. Our business model is such that we don't have large, big national television and broadcast contracts. 60% of an average team's revenue comes from ticketing, from the gate. The other 40% comes from sponsorship and apparel, merchandise. Most of that apparel merchandise is purchased on game day. And so for us, pick a date, starting Memorial Day weekend, but playing for one more month through June and playing in front of empty arenas, that's a non-starter. We have to be able to play with fans in the building.
And John Marks pointed out something as we close, and out of respect for your time, Scott, he says Panthers don't have to worry about scheduling conflicts with the Warriors since the NBA is in San Francisco now. Is that the case?
We don't have any scheduling challenges with the Warriors. The Warriors were going to be playing for the first month of our season. They would have played from the middle of March to the middle of April. Unfortunately, this year, the Warriors were not going to make the playoffs, so they were going to be done. Now, in a typical year, or going back in the last 4 or 5 years, when they've made it all the way to the NBA Finals and won the championship 3 out of 5, we would have had them playing in our market in the same time all the way to the middle of June. But it's an East Bay. The fan base is stronger over here. The Warrior people are, they're going to go to the Warrior playoff games. But the people who want to come and play for us, or that want to come and watch our games, it's probably a different fan base. We don't see that as competition. One of the advantages, I would say this, if there is a silver lining in a delay to the season, and from having lived here, Zenny, that when the kids get out of school, the attendance at the sporting events at the Coliseum and the arena goes up.
Yep.
The A's just kind of like, they dread getting through April and May, right? I mean, the kids are in school. It's kind of chilly here, things like that. You get into June, July, and August and September, things really pick up. Ticket sales, we would expect, might actually be a little better playing in July and August when all the kids are out of school.
Wow. Hey, Scott, I know you've got some other stuff on your schedule, so I want to say in closing, thank you very much for your service to Oakland, because without you, we would not have football in Oakland at all. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it, Zenny, and I will say while we're on the air here, we appreciate all the support of our fans, and we really look forward to the time and the opportunity and the place in which we can play a game and we can all enjoy the game.
Cool. Hey, Scott, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to, folks, we'll be back with another live stream. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, Oakland's only daily blog. How was that, Scott?